Roger was 23 years old, a member of the United States Air Force, in his own house with a firearm that was registered and legal. And a police officer came to his door and shot him up like a dog in the street, as if he was not defending the rights of America all over the world. I gotta stop right here because I want to say to you what it is that a lot of you will not like, and that is Roger was better to America than America was to Roger. We owe him a debt of gratitude and a debt of thanksgiving. Roger had the Second Amendment on his side, and he had a right to bear arms. I want to say what may not be popular, but what is absolutely true. The preamble of the Constitution said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and have the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Roger had a right. And if George Zimmerman had a right to carry a gun, then Roger had a right.
This is the moment U.S. Airman Roger Fortson was fatally shot in his own home by a Florida sheriff's deputy.
Sheriff's office, open the door! Step back.
You see it all play out in newly released body camera footage from the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department. The officer announces his presence at Fortson's apartment after receiving a report of a disturbance.
Sheriff's office, open the door!
Fortson appears and is shot almost instantaneously. Watch closely, slow down, and you see the door open. There appears to be a gun in Fortson's right hand, but it's pointing downward, never aimed at the officer, who immediately fires.
There was no forced entry. And to be clear, this officer-involved shooting is legal.
So I want to start this off by saying the reason that the lawyer and the family said it may have been the wrong address is strictly because of dispatch not giving clear information. They stuttered and they were very vocally stating that they were unsure. That's not the point here today. To give you an idea of what happened, the officer went, banged on the door numerous times, concealed himself. The airman went, looked in the peephole of the door, didn't see shit, because get this, the dude is concealing himself. He went over back, told his girlfriend he was scared for his life, because he felt like someone was trying to break into his apartment. Then, he grabbed his mouse tool, went to the door. It is at his side, it is pointed downwards in a non-threatening manner. Opens the door. At the same time, the officer just finished saying sheriff after knocking on the door. The officer then immediately responds because he simply sees the possession of an arm with 6 rounds. If an officer can unalive you for practicing your Second Amendment rights within your home, what right do you really have?
He gave him no time. Why did he hide?
Why did he fire?
Because a black man opened the door. Because a black man with a gun opened the door. That's why he fired.
His gun was down.
So what?
Is that his standard operating procedure?
Yes, it is. You don't know that it's already standard operating procedure. That's why... That's why your shit wouldn't work. It doesn't... No one's checking. What happened here? Did he have to go back to the car and check?
He didn't.
He didn't check anything.
He didn't check shit.
He shot.
He just instantaneously shot.
Yes. That's why it wouldn't work. That's why what you were talking about would facilitate more people getting shot. Because if you have that app, right? In the case where maybe you would go back to your car and check, in those cases, not in this case, but in the cases where you would go back to your car and check, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have a moment because you went back to your car, right? It's not like all of a sudden you pull up on your phone when you're standing there and you see that somebody has a record, or they resemble or have a similar name to somebody who has a record, right? It doesn't even have to be the same person. It just has to be an excuse. It just has to be for anybody that would check. For every officer that takes the time to check, right? Instead of them checking, you're telling them to shoot because they're trained to shoot when they see a black person. And that's what you were missing. They're trained to kill black people. And that's what they do. You were making it so that all of the officers that are trained to shoot black people but hesitate, don't hesitate anymore. And they have software to back up their decision, which you would have made. And then they would use that software to justify why they made the decision, like that they did, to shoot, to kill somebody, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's not,
I get it.
yeah, it's not about making them more safe. It's not about making them feel more safe. It's about who their targets are.
Yeah.
It's about the automatic response that has been fucking trained and pounded in.
Yeah.
And so that you have a few officers, you have officers that resist that impulse.
Yeah.
And that's why more black people aren't killed. Because you have some officers that resist the impulse to shoot on sight every black person they see. He's alone. There's no noise coming from the apartment. He asked the person downstairs not to accompany him, which was stupid.
Yeah.
Especially after she expressed that there was confusion.
She said that off the start.
She said she didn't know where it was coming from. She said she didn't know where it was coming from.
Yeah. And he should have thought.
So automatically he should have been like, I don't know where this is coming from.
Exactly.
And then he hid.
Yeah. He immediately treated it like it was going to be an assault.
Yes.
It wasn't. He was not.
That's probably why they bleeped out shit. Why you can't hear what the exchange is.
Yeah.
Because she probably identified them as black.
Yep. Yep. I bet that's right.
And why do they blur out the room numbers? But they don't blur it out of the door.
No, because that was a target.
But it wasn't the target. They didn't have a target.
No, they didn't.
They didn't have a target.
He was right to fucking have a gun on him.
Yes, because he's in Florida. And he's an Air Force officer.
And somebody's invading his home.
And somebody's invading his home who did not show themselves or identify themselves. He did not say police.
He said sheriff's office once.
What, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, let's see. I don't think he said shit.
But that doesn't mean about her.
He's hiding. He said,
Sheriff's office, open the door!
okay. But he's not showing himself.
No.
Anyone can say sheriff's office. He's not
Sheriff's
holding up a
office, open
badge.
the door! Step out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! 312, shots fired. Suspect down. Do not move! 312, get EMS my location.
See, this is the thing about us being Israelites dwelling in a land that is not ours. We are sojourners here in America, y'all. Their policies, their laws that they pass, their Bill of Rights, those are not for us. Those are not for the children of Israel. Those are not for so-called black people. That's what we have to wake up and realize. Them laws don't apply to us, okay? I know they say you got the right, you got the right, you got the right. We are all equal. You can clearly see equality does not exist in America, okay? When it comes to so-called whites and so-called blacks, there's no equality. We at the bottom. We've always been at the bottom. And their intention is always to keep us at the bottom. That's why they have systematic racism in place. That's why they pass these laws. They pass these bills against us. That's why they make these agendas and they create all these things against us. It's not to benefit us. So we have to wake up and stop falling asleep on the fact that we think that we have this right and we have that right and we have this right and we have that right. We don't have the same rights, y'all. We don't even have the rights when it comes to a job. We don't have the same rights when it comes to getting a house, to getting a loan, to financing a vehicle, to opening up a bank account, to even damn standing in line. We could be standing in line and a so-called white person will cut right in front of us like we don't even exist, like they don't even see us. We do not, them laws do not apply to us. We don't have any rights here in America. Don't y'all understand that? This is very sad and very unfortunate what happened to our young brother. But he is just one of many. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing. They, like the guy said, he know his kind. They're trained. Even the woman said it. They're trained. They're trained to unalive black people without any hesitation. Regardless, if you think that you have your Second Amendment to bear arms, if you think that you have your First Amendment to freedom of speech, if you think that the Bill of Rights, if you think that the laws that they pass and the policies that they pass apply to you, we've been shown over and over again it does not apply to us. And at any given time, they can do what they want to do and hold themselves not guilty. Let's get a precept. This is Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. There's nothing new under the sun. Whose oppressors slay our oppressors, continuously slay us, and hold themselves not guilty. This is what they do. If he have the right to bear arms, he's inside of his home. He's not showing any threatening behaviors. He's not resisting. Why does he not have the right not to be unalived by a police officer? Because if we replay that thing and you swap him out for a so-called 23-year-old white male, that would definitely not have played out the way that it played out. Actually, the police would have tried to negotiate with him, try to talk him down, tell him to put it down, tell him let's talk about it. But when it comes to our people, never. It's never that way. It's shoot first and ask questions last, and that's what we have to understand. But even though they have the mindset that they're innocent and they can't be held guilty when they come and they continue to kill our people in the streets, in their houses. You know, a lot of you say, well, you shouldn't be breaking the law. You shouldn't be criminals. Now, what do you got to say about him being inside of his house? He's in his house. We've seen this before, right? But you know what? They're not guilty right now. But the Most High, he's going to get ready and hold them guilty. And that's the thing that they do not realize. This is Numbers chapter 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood, it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Who's shedding all the blood here in America? Who shedded all the blood here in America? Who's continuing to shed the blood here in America? So the only way that the blood can be cleansed of the Israelites here in America is by the blood of them who shed it. Our oppressors who hold themselves not guilty. And that's exactly why Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back and avenge for all the things that's been done to the children of Israel, y'all. We have to cry aloud. We have to cry out to the Most High. Because their time is dwindling down. And they're going to continue with their wickedness. They're not going to stop. But wake up and realize you don't have rights here in America. You're not under the same policies. You're not under the same laws. You're not under the same bills as so-called Europeans. If you're a so-called African American here in America, you do not have the same rights. You do not have the same laws or the bills. They say you do, but when it come down, you can clearly see Roger did not, and neither do you.
Whoa, easy now.
I'm gonna be free or die.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
You have made it 100 miles to freedom. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Keratin.
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I got a made up mind, and I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on.
Harriet, welcome to the Underground Railroad.
And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone, and I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shine stars fill the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
James chapter 5, verse 4 through 7. Behold, the hire of the laborers which have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanting. Ye have nourished your hearts, as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. To he who endures until the end, the same shall be saved.